Welcome to Unleashed Podcast, where all are welcome. Now, here is your host, Pup Twigs.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unleashed. And joining me today is Christopher, who is the host of the Big Gay Radio Show over on WMNF Radio in the Tampa area. How are you, Christopher?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I love having you all had me on yours, so I had to pay the favor back. So I'm glad
I
you're here.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So I just want to go in and first see if you can share a little bit about, your journey and what being part of this gay community means to you.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in the Tampa Bay area. I went to Seminole High School. I fell in love with the community at a Pride event when I was about 16 years old. And I went to the street festival. It wasn't the Pride parade that St. Pete had, but I went to the street festival and I felt a very large wave of like support.
Hmm.
Um, and I fell in love with the area over a further period of time. Luckily, I have been able to get into the colleges around here at SPC and then USF. So I've just been able to continue to thrive as much as possible in this area. And when it comes to like my activism, I joined the board of a organization in St. Petersburg. And I helped establish their scholarship with the St. Petersburg College
Hmm.
for LGBTQ individuals of any kind. And that was a massive like thing that I felt really happy about. And at that point, I just kept making more and more friends, and eventually, I got to starting to do the radio show. And so I wouldn't be where I'm at without the community and the support that I've been given. And I like the idea that I can give back as much as I possibly can with
Well,
that.
I know I follow you on your social media, and boy, you are active. I don't know where you find enough time in the day to do everything that you do.
I try my best to keep as active as possible. It keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah, I got you. Well, if you could leave the listeners with one message, about love, acceptance, or just being true to yourself, what kind of message would you want to leave them?
It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to
Right.
go ahead and wake up one day and feel happy and just everything's going to fall into place. You got to put forward the effort and you got to keep going. Some days it's going to be a little bit rough, some days it's going to be a little hard. Rough intended with the pup. But um but you just got to keep going. That's all you get. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Keep moving forward.
Well, yeah, we don't want to go back, and that's what people are trying to make us do right now.
Definitely. And we've gotten our fair share of negative comments, but the greatest thing is the fact that we get so many positive people reaching out, telling us how much they support the show.
Yeah.
Um, there's a individual that's over at Polk Correctional Institute, and when we were on the midnight to 3 a.m. show, he would listen every single week, and he felt as though that was the only connection that he had to the community. And
Hmm.
when he started sending those letters, it touched my heart. So it made me feel like I'm actually like doing good. I'm making that connection. I'm getting to that point. Um, and over time, there's been more people from different jails, Hillsborough. They've reached out, and it's just like every time that I get reached out by somebody who's feeling like they're a little bit disconnected from the world, it makes me feel good.
Yeah, and that's always a good feeling. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just a good feeling to know that you're making a difference out there and people are enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what advice would you give someone who's just starting to embrace their identity?
Um, just go for it, man. Like honestly, the reason why I say that is because I when I came out at about I came out publicly at about 17. But I always knew that I would. was feeling some type of way. So I always embrace the fact that I have a little bit of femininity in me. Like I would go down the halls of my middle school in 6th grade singing "I Feel Pretty" from West Side Story. So
That's awesome.
I I just say go for it. Live your life. And if anybody goes ahead and says that you have to live a certain way, they aren't somebody that should be supporting you in your life. It's not
Yeah,
it's not their life to live. And
that's
at the
right.
end of the day, they will die and you will live. And at
Yep.
the end, like, you will be the only person who's around 100% of the time of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know I see you, I follow you. I know you get to attend a lot of events, but do you have a special memory of an event that you've got to attend?
So, definitely the first Pride event at that street festival is one
Okay.
definitely that goes ahead and is like my big soul, like my heart and soul goes to that. But honestly, there's so many different things that I've been gotten to get a part of, that I, I'd honestly say that Winter Pride would
Mm-hmm.
probably be the one that I go ahead and say is like the thing that I'm most excited for, because it's just starting. Winter Pride is in February. Obviously, I'm not on the planning committee or I'm not a part of it in any regard. But WMNF and them just went ahead and finalized the deal to help support and do a partnership. And so being able to support something completely brand new and just keep going with that, that's something that I always love. Um,
Yes. Well, thinking about our community, what misconceptions do you wish more people would understand about the gay community?
so honestly, that we are everywhere, like all over the place. Like there's a lot of people that are not necessarily out, but they
Right.
are still part of the community.
That's
If
right.
they may go ahead and be sort of reserved in terms of their sexuality, but they still have a boyfriend or a lover or whoever they are. I work in the construction industry. I'm a project assistant to my roommate, who's a project manager at a construction firm, a construction forensic architecture firm. I should be more specific,
Okay.
which goes ahead and oversees testing when it comes to construction projects and make sure that the projects are going along smoothly. But you wouldn't necessarily think that two gay people would have a fairly solid understanding of how the building industry goes ahead and works. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, everybody's different, everybody's unique, and everybody comes in all different shapes and sizes.
Yes, totally agree with that. Well, th this question I always like to hear how people answer. Actually, there's a few questions I have, but one, if you could instantly master just one talent, what do you think you would want to master?
I would like to be able to talk a little bit better. Obviously, I have a little bit of I don't necessarily want to call it a stutter because not anything like that's been diagnosed, but I sometimes stumble and I forget words. And so if I could like 100% master that, because the power of convincing comes from the power of your words. The power of your
Hmm.
words is everything. And
Right.
so if I can get that confidence and get the ability to keep, you know, my mind on track in that regard. And it's a little bit ADHD. And that's what I've been diagnosed with. That's the diagnosis.
Yeah.
But so it might be a little bit of untreated ADHD, but if I could get that point, there's nothing stopping me.
Well, and I know you have that as something you want to master, but I can tell you you do a very amazing job with what you do and the tool that you have. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you. You'll make me tear up.
this question, what has been one of your proudest, most affirming moments you've had?
So there, and I obviously would like to go ahead and point to the letters from all the inmates that I've received.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, you know, and it came recently is obviously the time change.
Yes.
When I got told that I was getting this show in this new time slot, it really felt like it was my show that I built from the ground up. Because the
Mm-hmm.
show wasn't originally pitched by me. The show was originally pitched by an individual who is to be not named. I'm not going to go into that, but he's
Right.
not necessarily associated with the show. And was he laid the framework, and I love him for doing that. But I built the house,
Yes.
and um, so when I got that email, like I teared up. I called my roommate Sean, who does our voiceover work. I called Esme Russell, the trans queen of radio.
Mm-hmm.
I called Brian. I called Joanna. I called Claire. I called Dave. I literally couldn't stop calling anybody. Like I was like so excited. I was jumping up and down, and I was in an apartment at the time too. So I was like the terrible upstairs neighbor that was just banging down on the floor. Like I was so freaking excited.
Oh yeah.
And because I knew that that's going to open up doors, and it's going to go ahead and allow our community to get so much more reach, because that's all I really care about. And
Yeah.
honestly, in the future, I can I want to see a time where the show moves on from being hosted by myself. I want to see where, I want to see the show go and have, other individuals who are able to take the torch and grow from that and do better. And obviously, me do better and cooler things, like hopefully, fingers crossed. But like, I want to see this show be that like community voice where everybody can feel like they can feel heard, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I
Well,
think that that's what I accomplished, you know?
well, I'm curious. Do you guys have the ability to look at view or not really viewership because it's not video, but how many people listen to your show versus other shows?
So, yes and no. In terms of just streaming analytics, obviously, yes. So, like, if you go ahead and look on the website and you're like live listening on the website, or if you're going ahead and listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
then those are a couple websites that I can see some analytics. But we're on FM radio, so the only real ratings that we get is Nielsen ratings.
Okay.
And so those are tabulated based off of the weekly amount, like the weekly percentage.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily um, that it's not easily like able to be seen in that
Yeah.
regard. But I do know one thing is for sure, that we are a 1 hour show. We are all talk. We don't have any music. We are in the middle of the day, and we just recently had a $1,600 fund drive goal, and we did it. We surpassed that goal with the help of our big gay bingos that we usually have at Cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
That was raised about $600 at Cocktail. And then during our time on air, during that 1 hour, we raised over 3,000 like $800,
Wow.
bringing our total to about 4,000 like 300 or $4,400 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the way that we can see physical success is by donors. And at this point in time, it seems like the community is wanting to show their love, and that's another thing that kind of makes me a little bit tearful. It makes me really proud because
Yeah.
there's like so many people out there that have made this show possible. And like I said, Esme Russell, Brian Hinkson, I'm gonna say all their names again because I can't give them enough recognition. Sean Kelly, Claire Leeson, Dave Borman, everybody else who's been a guest. This show is like, and everybody who's donated and listens, like this show wouldn't happen without the support of people, and it makes me feel like we're successful.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you, and I love the show. Uh, I was glad to be on it a couple of times and everything. It's just awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. And if you're ever in Tampa, make sure you're tuning in on 88.5 Tuesday mornings, 11 a.m. to noon. And we got the after show. And I do want to have you on the show as well, too. I
Oh,
know you got, bro,
I'd come back
I'm,
anytime.
I need, I need to get some more pups to come on. I don't think we've got a pup on in the new time slot.
I would love to see if I could get my husband on sometime, Pup Smokey, but he's pretty shy and I'm not sure he would do it, but I'll have to ask.
Well, the good thing about radio is that you're just having a conversation between five people and there's
Yep.
people listening.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and that's what makes it a little bit more easier. Especially with me, when it comes to talking, I'm literally just looking into a microphone and I'm looking at like two people, three people, however many people that are in the room that I've already previously known, and a guest that is so eager to go ahead and be on air that I'm able to just feel that other world comfort. It's like I get in the zone. I just watched the movie Soul.
Oh,
And like the when I get in the zone on air, it feels such like a different level.
yep, I get you. So, well, this is another one of those questions I always like to hear. Who is your celebrity crush? Could be a past, it could be something current, but who's your celebrity crush?
So I'm because there's older people out there, and I want to make sure to preface I'm 25, but Robert Irwin is mm, he's not gay, but he's if he was, and so
Yeah,
like the reason why I want to put preface and nothing against age gaps or anything like that, but there's people that always like because Robert Irwin's been in the public face since he was an infant, like and
yes.
stuff like that. So to a lot of people, he's like Australia's baby. Like he was like their poster child essentially.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I now that he's older and we're pretty close to the same age. I think he's only like 20, 23,
Yeah, I
22.
think he's in his 20s.
Yeah. So when he was doing Dancing with the Stars and he would rip off his shirt and his muscles would be like, I'm like, crikey.
Cracky. Oh man. Well, I know Dancing with the Stars has to do with music, and that leads me into the next one. What is your hype song? What gets you going?
So there's two that really have gotten me going the last like little bit. When I first was go-go dancing, when I first turned 21, I would blare Tiesto's The Motto as
Hmm.
loud as humanly possible. And I would get pumped up that way. And then nowadays it's Joyride by Kesha.
Oh, not yeah.
Yeah,
I know them
definitely.
both.
Yeah.
Well, what challenges have you faced in, your lifetime, and how have you been able to overcome them?
So I'm a very privileged person, to be honest. I grew up in a very middle class neighborhood and with a middle class family. So
Hmm.
I went through a very privileged life. But when I turned 18, there was a lot of disagreements that I had with my family, and it got to the point where I wasn't necessarily comfortable living there. And they didn't want me living there. They didn't feel comfortable living with me living there either. So it was a mutual agreement that I would go ahead and get my own place.
Okay.
And at that time, it was I was lucky because it was 2018, so the market wasn't as bad as it is now.
Hmm.
So the rent that I could find was a one bedroom for about $1,000 a month, plus I had to pay utilities and everything. But even then, I had a $9 an hour job at Walgreens. And with that, and because I knew that I needed to pay for groceries and I needed to pay for my own life,
Hmm.
I worked about anywhere between 60 to 100 hours in a week. And I would just do everything that I possibly can. I would solicit other stores in the area to see if they had any hours or any cancellations, like any last minute things. Like I had multiple managers on speed dial that I would call and be like, "Hey, you need me? Like, what's up?" Um, and um, I was lucky because my parents helped me get a payment plan on a scooter, but I would be driving around on a little Chinese scooter that was like a $900 scooter that would fall over in about 15-mile-an-hour wind.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, it was a really low time for me. But one of my friends who actually was still in high school at the time, but I was only 18, and that's how young I was. Like I was still hanging out with like some friends from high school. Um, and he um would just go ahead and crash at my house. And whenever I got home, however long hours it was, he would be there hanging on my couch with a beer ready and say, "Hey, let's do some shots." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't condone underage drinking now, but I needed it then."
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
um, I don't know like anything like that, but like anything, you know, harder than that sort of instance in my life. Luckily, the way that I got out of it was community. I made a
Mm-hmm.
friend. I got fired from Walgreens actually. They did a random drug test on me. I'm giving you all the tea on this show. Um, and so they did a random drug test on me, and I was smoking weed at the time, and so they fired me for pot.
Wow.
And I found a job at a call center, and that's where I found my current roommate when I was 19. And I just gravitated towards him. And I didn't end up renewing my lease. Um, I just sort of hung out with him and his then husband at the time. Other story. Um, and he built me out of the hole that I was in. And it took a long time. And he's still helping me to this day. And that's why I still live with him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
if it wasn't for community, I would definitely not be where I am today. I wouldn't have started that scholarship. I wouldn't have started that the I wouldn't have not started. I would have continued with the radio show as I did.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, no, I and so and I'm thinking like about your earlier question about what I want other people to like leave this episode with. And it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, rely on community. Don't be afraid to reach out for help because help
Yes.
is definitely out there. And, sometimes it's a hard thing to ask for help. And I'm glad that I was able to humble myself and got there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, what a unique journey that you've had.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, and that's only a little bit of a scrape of the surface. Just a little bit. I could go ahead and fill like a 3 hour long podcast. I got a 5 book novel series coming out December.
Oh
Oh, it is
man, yeah.
December. Too late. Never mind.
Well, who is your ultimate icon or role model out there?
So I will have to say Esme Russell, my co-host, because she's 65 years old. She's trans. She's been a drag queen for almost 50 years. She'll be there for 50 years.
Wow.
She'll be 50 years next year. Um, and I look up to her in so many different ways because she is such a beacon of guidance. She knows so much about everything that has happened here. And the amazing thing about Esme is that she was born and raised in Ybor City, right here in Florida. And so she knows almost everything about every story, every bar. Like, my favorite thing is when I go ahead and I tell somebody, "Oh, I'm doing a radio show with Esme Russell," they'll go ahead and like be like, "Oh, I saw her at tracks or I saw her
Mm-hmm.
at some random other bar." And I'm just like I get so excited because it's so awesome to know that I have somebody who is a local icon that I can just turn to and have that, you know, connection and have that like the historical aspect of it.
Yes, yes. Well, I don't normally put anyone on the spot, and I don't think it's really too much on the spot, but I know
Put me on the spot. I'm
w-
good. I
when
put
I
you
was
the
on
hell
your
on the
radio
spot.
show, you have a specific way you announce yourself when you get back on the mic when we go live again to introduce yourself. Would you do that here for us?
I am the show twink of the Big Gay Radio Show. And honestly, the reason why that started was there was this person, she would call in about 80 times an episode during the midnight to 3 a.m. show. And to insult me, she would call me the little show twink.
Uh,
And so I took that. It's still in my Facebook bio. And I took Show Twink and I was like, absolutely, thank you. Boom. Immediately. 100%. I'm taking that and running with it.
yep. You took a negative and turned it into a positive.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
100%. And
that's
like
awesome.
the other thing is like, I thought about the fact that there's very few trans radio personalities out there. So I essentially dubbed Esme Russell the trans queen of radio. And so for her to have that title as well. I think that we all have our little titles. Brian Hinkson is the bodacious Brian Hinkson. Joanna Grosso is the jovial Joanna. Um, Vin is the vivacious Vin Suasion. So
Wow.
we all have our own little names for each other.
Oh, that is, I just love it and stuff. Well, I want to give you the opportunity if you want to share any social media, if someone wants to reach out to you, you're more than welcome to do it here.
Yes. So if you want to be featured on the Big Gay Radio Show and you are in the local area of the Tampa Bay area, um, just go ahead and reach out to gay@wmnf.org. We are on 88.5 WMNF Community Radio every Tuesday mornings, 11 a.m. to noon. You do not have to be on the radio to listen. You can go ahead and stream us on WMNF.org. And then all of our episodes are uploaded on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And then we also have the Big Gay After Show. Obviously, while being on air, we have FCC regulations.
Hmm.
So having a after show gets us the ability to talk about the more sexual topics, the more scandalous topics. We get to curse a lot more. We get to be a little bit more risque, and that's also streaming on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look up the Big Gay Radio Show. We also have Facebook, Instagram. I'm Christopher Lawrence on Facebook or Chris Gorman, either one, basically same. And
Awesome.
that's my
Well,
rant. That's my tangent.
hey, that's good.
It
Any
was
last
rehearsed. I
words?
got you.
Any last words before we log off here?
um, Rely on community. Be supportive of others. Be the person that you want others to be, and they will be the person that you need them to be.
Awesome. Well, Christopher, it's been an honor to have you on. I love when I can get people from the community, not just pups, but anybody with season four. And yeah, just thank you.
I appreciate it, and hopefully we can get one of my co-hosts on as well, so you can showcase the big gay diversity. 'Cause
Would definitely love to.
I'm just some little white twink, but we got a Cuban feisty trans queen on the other end that's ready to go ahead and fight my ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
See,
Well, that's all.
we go
Well,
at it each other. Like, so
yes.
sometimes we'll discuss topics before the show. And sometimes our arguments will be so loud you can hear it like in the other studios.
Oh,
And they'll
wow.
go ahead and they'll look at us and they'll be like, try and keep it down, twink. Getting a little feisty.
Oh man, well, thank you again for being on here. It's been awesome getting to talk to you again, and I know you and I will talk again very soon.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Until next time, keep wagging, keep shining, and stay unleashed.